Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's product webinar about our new calendar feature. We'll give it a few minutes just to let everyone join the call and then we'll get started. Quick bit of housekeeping before we jump in. You will notice that your microphones have been muted by default. So if you do have any questions, please do put them in the chat section and we'll be able to go through any of your questions at the end of today's call. Okay, I can see people still are joining in, so we'll give it 2 more minutes and then we'll get kicked off. Okay, lovely stuff. So, in the interest of time, let's get going. Today's session is being recorded. So, if you'd like to watch this back or share it with any members of your team, you will be able to. We'll be sending that link by email afterwards. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining today, and welcome to our first monthly product webinar. For anyone on today's session that I haven't met before, my name is Charlie Gifford, and I'm head of adoption here at Sedna. A little bit of context, before I joined Sedna just over 3 years ago, I spent my career on the operational side of shipping, first as a ships agent and then in port management. So I came into this role with a pretty clear sense of what it feels like to work in the shipping industry and deal with the email volume that you guys are focusing on a day-to-day basis. And ultimately, what a good tool should do for the people using them. Today, my job is to make sure that what we build here at Sedna translate into real change for the people that are using it on a day-to-day basis, rather than just a feature that sits there unloved. Now, this is a bit of a milestone for us today because this is actually the first in what will become a monthly webinar series, where each month we'll take one new feature and walk you through it properly to show you with a live demo and make sure that you leave knowing exactly how to use it. Now, we picked a great one to start with, and I won't make a joke of the first one in the calendar being calendar. So I'm going to hand over to Natasha to introduce herself before we get into it.
Hello, everyone. Good morning from London and wherever you're calling in from. My name is Natasha, as you can see from the screen, and it's lovely to meet all of you who I maybe haven't met before. I am VP of Product here at Sedna. I look after the whole product organization. And normally it would be one of the product managers joining us on a call today, but because calendar is such a exciting and critical part of each one of our customers' workflows, I thought it was a great one for me to join. And also, as Charlie said, the first one of this series. So really excited to be here today. So just to walk you through what to expect on this webinar, Charlie and I will take you through the thinking behind it, a live demo, and also how to get set up and how to get started with hopefully a little demo in there as well. We'll also make sure there's time for questions at the end. So please do keep them coming in the chat. As Charlie said, you are muted for this just for the purpose of time. But if you put your questions in the chat, we will be able to get to them by the end. And if you guys and gals have too many questions because you're too excited, we will obviously respond back to those after the webinar too. Okay, so let's get going.
Perfect. Thanks, Natasha. So to give a little bit of color behind the scenes here, the reason this feature exists is quite honestly just because you told us it needed to. The feedback that we kept hearing consistently in the customer facing teams from lots of different organizations across different verticals and industries was the same. When a meeting invite lands in Sedna, you would have to leave to another mail platform or calendar app to do anything about it. And when you have to go and check your availability, accept it, create an event, and that's all happening outside of Sedna, it becomes a really difficult workflow where you're flicking between applications. Now, it sounds like a small thing, but the reality is this is happening multiple times throughout a day-to-day basis. So you're breaking your concentration, you're losing the thread of what you were doing, and ultimately your calendar and communications are just never quite in the same place. And for teams where timing matters, which in our industry is everyone, that's a real friction point. So we've taken it seriously. We have iterated on our previous calendar offering to come back to you with something that will really help solve those problems.
Cool. So why does this matter? So from where I sit on the product side, what makes this more than just a convenience feature or sort of like a must-have is operational context. So the shipping teams, as we know, you're coordinating across time zones, across teams, across counterparties, across ETAs. So many different things are happening across your mailbox and across the world. And so much of that also happens in Sedna. We are so grateful for the trust that you instill in us in keeping your communication going. But the moment it tips into calendar, you're gone. And we know that our previous calendar offering wasn't necessarily fully up to par. And so that's why we've really put in the effort here to try and provide you with a best-in-class calendar experience. By leaving the product to go handle somewhere else that's related to the conversations that you're in, just breaks up that flow and it creates more friction in the work that you do day to day. So in practice, that creates three real problems. Like I said, switching between systems is slow, it compounds. Delaying RSVPs aren't just annoying, they create genuine operational risk for you. And a missed meeting in the industry can mean a missed deal or a delayed decision. And we want to really try and prevent that from happening as much as we can. And also, when you can't see your own availability, it makes it more difficult for you to track your day. It slows down how quickly you can commit to anything. So the calendar isn't just a nice to have or a nice add-on or like part of a polished user experience. It really is critical to how your team coordinate and how you all work together. So we've built it to feel like the Sedna experience, to live within Sedna, not just alongside it. So, what does it do? I'll do a live demo to show you what's available now. But before I show you that, I just want to give you the quick overview. So there's a few different elements that we've built within the calendar. We've listened to your feedback. We identified what really worked in our previous iteration and what also didn't work. And based on that feedback, this is what we've come up with. So you can directly RSVP within our email platform. When a meeting invite comes in, you can accept it, you can decline it, and you can also mark as tentative straight away in the email thread, without going anywhere else. You can also create and manage events directly within your email experience. You get a full calendar view, you can have a day view, you can have a week view. So all of your availability is in one place, and you can also customize how you want to see your availability, depending just on your user preference. And you can access it anywhere. So you can access it on desktop, you can access it on mobile, all through the same URL, just depending on whether you're working on a small screen or a larger screen. I won't be demoing you the mobile experience, but it is part of the release. So you will be able to access that when this is released. So without further ado, I will demo calendar. I will just note that I've run through this many, many times. It all seems to be working, but we all know the demo curse sometimes is not the fairest. So hopefully it will be kind to me. So this is what you will see in the Sedna calendar. So if you look at the top URL, you can see that this is a URL that you need to navigate to, calendar.sednanetwork.com. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of, there we go. And so here you go. You can see your month view. If you want to go to a week view, you can also do that. And if you want to go to a day view, you can do that as well. And you can navigate across your days here on the left-hand side. You can also switch between days on the right-hand toggle as well. Luckily, we have no invites on a Saturday or Sunday. That's what I like to see. So then this is kind of your first experience. Secondly, if you wanted to create an invite, so let's create an invite for today. I can either click create on the top left-hand side here, or I can click directly in calendar, like you would do in your Outlook calendar or your Google Calendar. And now when you go to create an event, you have many different options. So you can see I directly clicked in at 12:30. So it's already created my event at 12:30. I'm going to have a quick sync with Charlie, and I can change the day, I can change the time if I wanted to. So maybe I actually don't want to talk to her at 12:30. I want to talk to her at 2:30 because I want to give her a lunch break. I can
Thank you.
make it all day. I can make it all day. I can repeat. So you can repeat it daily, over a weekly, or monthly, or yearly. And you can change how often it repeats and if it when it ends until a certain point, or it's just a certain count, as you also do within your Outlook calendar. And because we know you work across time zones, you can also specify the time zone. So the time zone you want to set this in. So maybe Charlie's not currently in London, although I know that she is because she's sitting next to me, but maybe she's somewhere else. Maybe she's in Athens or Bucharest. And so that just makes it much easier for us to set that time zone. You can also book a room. So if you have your meeting rooms connected to your Outlook, to your Microsoft Office 365, we can connect to those rooms. You can enter a description. Let me just quickly send this to Charlie. You can see this is her demo environment account, not her Sedna account, because I'm in the demo experience. If this was in production, this would say sedna.com. And I can add a Microsoft Teams link as well. And I click save. And then I've sent that to Charlie. And so when I click on and you can see it's changed the time zone because she's working in Athens. So it's just automatically adjusted the time zone for my time zone in London. And I can click on it. You can see that nobody's responded. You can see the Teams link is here. I didn't put a description, so don't see a description. I can edit the invite if I wanted to. I can delete the invite if I no longer need to speak to Charlie. And there we go, it's gone. So that's kind of how it works. I'm also going to quickly go off to somewhere where you can't see, and I'm going to send in an invite right now on the fly. Let me just, what should I call it? Hello webinar. And we'll send in an invite to test the live experience. So just so that you can see that it actually works coming in and out of our calendar. Okay, let me send this from my internal. There we go. I've just sent it for 11:30 this morning. Sometimes we do just need to do a little refresh. This is the demo. There we go. So you can see, hello webinar. I've just sent that from my personal email, Natasha Middleton. It's come in. I said, hello webinar. Because we work with Google, that has a Google link rather than a Teams link. I can accept that and it will update. So you can see I've accepted it. I can also put tentative and it will update to tentative. And just taking it back into the experience here, you can see this is what it would look like. You can see that I've already clicked tentative. You can see the scan card has come in. I can accept the invite instead. If I go back to here, you should see that updated now to accepted. So you will be able to work within your email experience to RSVP. You can see here that I've had an accepted meeting previously. And so it's all working within the demo environment and your Sedna calendar experience. Apologies for the slight slowness on the scan card. That's also just because we're working in demo. It will be slightly quicker, obviously, in your production environment as well. So that's how it works. If you want to disconnect, if you want to go to your Outlook calendar at any time, oh dear, I'm not logged in. That's not good, is it? But if I wanted to go to my Outlook calendar at any time, I can do that. And you can, not that I hope you would ever need to, but you can see my calendar here. Doesn't have anything because it's linked up to a different experience, but you can see that you can view your Outlook calendar at any time if you also wanted to. So that's it. Very easily to disconnect. You can disconnect. This is going to be your first time experience, which is you'll come to this view. If you want to connect, you just click connect with Outlook. Your Microsoft calendar has been fully connected and it's just taken me directly to the dashboard. So that would be as an end user, your first time user experience. You'll just see that button, you click it, and then you just enter your credentials, your normal Sedna credentials, and it will log you in. Cool. Okay, so I think that is the demo of Calendar. I am going to go back to the slideshow and hand over to Charlie.
Thank you very much, Natasha. Appreciated the walkthrough there. So, technically speaking, or practically speaking, what do you need to do to actually get going? Now, the good news is, as Natasha showed us there, it's very straightforward, and most of you will already have exactly what you need. So, we've got a little short checklist here. So, the first thing that is needed is a solo inbox in Sedna. So, your personal email address as an inbox within your Sedna experience. You'll also need a Microsoft 365 account with calendar access, and then your Sedna credentials. It's those three things that allows you to hook up to that calendar.sednanetwork.com experience. At that point, you can head to the URL there, calendar.sednanetwork.com, and log in with your usual Sedna credentials. And then you're in, and that's genuinely it. So I wanted to flag here that if you hit any issues on the technical side during setup, you can always email support@sedna.com, your usual support contact there, and the team will get you sorted. Also, if you have any more questions about how to actually work this into your day-to-day workflow or how your team operates, that's a conversation for my team at success@sedna.com. So please do feel free to reach out to us there. Now, the final thing that's worth flagging, and this is for any IT admins on the call, this is currently available for Microsoft 365 accounts only. So if your organization is using Google at the moment or something else, please do reach out to your account team and we can have a conversation about where that sits on the roadmap.
Cool. I'm
Now,
just going to jump in quickly for Charlie because although I'm not a Microsoft expert at all, as you just saw, I wasn't logged into my Outlook account because I never use it. I did just want to walk you through very quickly what to expect if you are an IT user using the Microsoft Azure portal. I'm not going to disconnect anything because I think that would just be taking everything one step too far. Oh dear, this is not going to work for me, is it? Oh dear. But I did just want to walk you through what you would expect to see when you go. Let me say if I can get back to our applications. Here we go. So you go to your application list, your enterprise application list. And if you're an IT admin, hopefully you have seen the Azure portal before. I'm no expert, but what you would hopefully see is by a user logging in, or you should be able to just see that the Sedna calendar, so it's called Stream Calendar, is just showing up in this list here. So to start with, this is if you have sort of admin consent across your whole organization, you would be able to log in, you'd be able to see your stream calendar here, you can click on it, and then this is where you sort of manage all of the access permissions and things like that. So if what we would recommend you doing is under permissions, we need all of these different permissions in order to allow calendar to work. So this is calendar read write, user read, send, people read, and place read all. You would then need to click grant admin consent for your organization here, and that would allow all of the users within your organization to just follow that really simple login process that I demonstrated earlier. If you have a few concerns, maybe there's only certain people within your organization that you want to have access to this calendar, or you want to grant access to these particular Microsoft Graph permissions, that's absolutely fine. You just go into users and roles, and then you set up you go into provisioning, I believe, or conditional access. Again, I'm not an expert here. This is it. You go into conditional access, you create a new policy, and then within this new policy, you just set the permissions that they want access to within the enterprise application and the particular users that you want to have access to that application. If you wanted to revoke access, you can also do that through this overview as well. So if, for example, you were leaving Sedna, although hopefully that would never happen, this is the kind of place where you could revoke your access as well. So all of this permissioning is done within the enterprise application. If you have universal access set within Microsoft, so where users can permission, each individual user can permission their own access, then you don't need to worry about this. Every user would just be able to access it automatically through the calendar link. And if you have something what we call admin consent across the entire organization, you might find it a bit trickier to set this up. Then we also have a consent URL that's in our Help Center article. And generally, if a user clicks on that, that will then automatically consent to the application just by clicking that through. And then the application will show up in the list that I showed you at the beginning within the Azure portal. I will say that generally the login process and the authentication process has been really smooth, but if you do have any additional issues or concerns, then please reach out to our support team and we'd be more than happy to help you with that. On Google, as Charlie said, we don't currently have Google support, but we will do very, very shortly. It's something we're actually working through at the moment and should be very much a fast follow, although we do understand that most of our customers use Microsoft, hence why we've gone down the Microsoft route first.
Thank you very much, Natasha. So everything that we've just covered there, plus a step-by-step setup guide, both for the end user and for the IT admin, will be in the follow-up email after this session. The knowledge base at support.sedna.com is a really good first stop if you'd like to have a bit of an explore. And if you need any guidance regarding technical setup or general assistance, that is for our support team. If you'd like a little bit of coaching or advice on how to get the most out of the platform, that is when you can come to Success. And for any feedback, please do flag that to Natasha's team at product@sedna.com so that we can consolidate all of your feedback into any future iterations.
Cool. And then finally, as we said at the beginning, we just wanted to highlight that this is our first in a monthly series of webinars, of product webinars, and we're already planning what's going to come up in March. So sign up for that will be in today's follow-up email as well. So please keep an eye out for that. The more the merrier. Please also share it with other colleagues within your organization because we'd love as many people to join these as possible. And remember, the session is always recorded. So if you can't join or if somebody else really wants to join, but they don't have any availability, you can share it with your team for anybody who couldn't join.
Fantastic. Thank you, Natasha. That's everything from us this morning. So over to you for any questions. We've got Natasha here. So for anything on the product or demonstration side or how to get set up, we are happy to take that. I can see that we've got a few questions in there already, but please do feel free to keep them coming. First of all, we have Martin. Am I correct? It syncs with Office. So create in Sedna and visible in Office and vice versa. Yes, that is correct, as we looked at earlier. Looking forward to you guys having an explore and seeing this in action for yourselves. Next question there. Can you add a shared calendar? Natasha, one for you.
So currently we don't have support for shared calendars. It's just for your personal email, your personal calendars. But mainly that's because of the complexity that comes with trying to organize a shared calendar. But we appreciate the feedback and hopefully you'll love this first iteration. And if you do, we'll definitely look at extending it to shared calendars as well.
Thank you. Next question there. Is it possible to sign in with SSO or single sign-on?
It is.
Fabulous. Just a note there from wonderful Gabby on our product team as a heads up that Google is coming soon, so we can follow up with that shortly. Question here from Jan. Do you intend to add the calendar function within the normal Sedna UI? So I think that means next to our email experience.
Yes, so that's a great question. I think we know that in our previous one, we had it in the sidebar, so you could sort of see your day view as well. That has been feedback from our customers who have sort of experienced this in a first look. And I think we definitely love to add that into the user experience. Sorry, that
Perfect.
was it.
Thank you. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Natasha. Looks like the last question here. Will there be an out of office function available on the Sedna platform soon?
We don't have any plans to support an out of office in the Sedna platform anytime soon, predominantly because although we do have shared inboxes, although we do have personal inboxes, we do prefer to encourage people to work within a team environment whereby out of office isn't necessary because your team members can pick up work for you. But we have heard this feedback before, and it is definitely on our feature request process, in our feature request backlog. And if we continue to hear it, particularly with the introduction of calendar, I maybe anticipate that this request may become more requested, then we'll definitely look at doing it. It's not, we don't want to do it. It's just maybe not the top of the priority list right now, but appreciate that with calendar, that may change.
Thank you very much. Looks like we're through all of the audience questions there. So the final thing that we can share with you today is that we are going through a phased rollout of this calendar functionality. Reason being, this is of course a new and big feature release. So we want to make sure that by going in phases, we can give each of those customers the close attention and support that they need, as well as collecting any feedback. So if you would like to understand which phase you are in, please feel free to reach out to success@sedna.com and we can give you some more insight there so that you can get ahead of the game with that admin selection and up to date when the feature is released.
And
Um,
just to note there, I see from, I don't know if it's Jakob or Jacob, but I take your feature request and I will definitely plus it within our internal feature request process. We know I appreciate that out of office is something that people have been asking for. So like let's see if we can squeeze it in sometime this year. No promises just yet though.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Jakob. Always appreciate your feedback from the folks at Go Forward. Looks like that is everything for today. We're right on time. So thank you very much, everyone, for your time and attention this morning. We'll be getting all of the resources and the recording sent out after the session. And please do feel free to reach out to any of those contacts if you have any further questions or feedback. And we look forward to seeing you at our next monthly webinar in March. Wishing you all a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.